Prices down and interest rates historically low as well. Is this the time for a buyer to strike? Barry Habib is CEO of Mortgage Market Guide. He joins us in studio. Peter Zalewski runs Miami-based Condo Vultures Realty. Now tonight, he's joining us from San Francisco because he's got a venture out west that we're going to be talking about in just a second. And Kurtis and Cindy Squyres have been finding foreclosures, fixing them up, and flipping them. You didn't think you'd hear that word for a while again. They join us from La Quinta, California. But Barry, first to you. Bad news sells newspapers. It also sells TV shows. But there is good news. If you're buying a house, there's some deals out there.
There's a lot of deals out there right now. You got to just pick, and you've got to be careful. But there's awesome deals to be had, especially on foreclosures. In fact, one of the things a lot of people are doing are these foreclosure tours, foreclosure safaris.
Right.
And people are going out in buses and looking at these and picking up fantastic deals. I mean, as a buyer, a couple of years back, you were at the mercy of sellers. It was pretty darn tough. You had to go on their terms. Here, if you can be a little bit patient, you can get some great deals. Now, you got to be smart. You got to be careful. But there's a lot of opportunity right now.
Now, Peter, I know you're out west, but your territory is Florida primarily, or at least it was first. Where is the bottom in Florida? Are there some communities like Miami that realize that they've seen the bottom and now consider themselves in a climbing mode?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me give you something to visualize. At the height of the market, there were 40 cranes in the air building high-rises in downtown Miami. There are 3 left today. So for the most part, a lot of this product is starting to come online. By our calculations, about 88% of the proposed and new product has already been delivered. Now, here's the interesting point. Of that 88% that's been delivered, roughly about 23,000, 22,000 units, only 53% is closed.
Wow. And by the way, I was there about a year, maybe a year and a month ago, and I remember those 40 cranes. So they're down to 3, which means the products are coming online, but are people buying the product, Peter?
Well, the product that people are buying is, if they bought new construction, they typically had a 20% deposit down.
Right.
The typical price was $400,000 to $500,000. So that's $80,000 to $100,000 that's pretty tough to walk away from. The real people who are purchasing today are the ones going after the 12,000 bank-owned properties that came online in the first half of 2008. Now, consider 12,000 bank-owned properties have come online where these properties have gone through foreclosure, they've gone through the auction, the bank is now in possession and dumping. There's another 38,000 that have moved into foreclosure in the first half of the year. So we're talking about 50,000 properties, theoretically, that can be had at a significant discount, in addition to the 23,000 new units that are being delivered in downtown Miami.
All right. Well, Kurtis and Cindy Squyres, you guys are using the F word. And I don't mean the 4-letter F word. I'm talking about flipping. You guys are actually considering and doing flips, which I thought were practically illegal at this point. Cindy, how do you do it?
We've been doing it full time for 12 years now. People say you can't do it in this market, you can't do it in that market, but we continue to do it. We just change our methods every time the market changes.
Yeah. So Kurtis, be specific. Tell us what properties you're looking at, how you fix them up, and how you then flip them.
Well, first, I really quick want to say that there's a huge, huge misconception about the legality of flipping, and what everybody is thinking about is organized crime, where they literally get together with a lender and an appraiser, and they artificially inflate the value of the house and then sell it, which is, very illegal. All we're doing is taking raw material, which are properties that are completely beat up, and then to answer your question, they're typically a 3-bed, 2-bath. Your best neighborhoods are middle to slightly lower middle class, blue-collar neighborhoods. The banks don't even have enough cash to mow the yards. They're dead. They've got mold. They're hazards. They've got pools that are full of water that are just very dangerous.
And in some cases, the houses have been trashed, right? Because foreclosed properties, very often people trash them before they leave.
Oh, yeah, in most cases. A lot of times the previous homeowner will even remove the kitchen or put holes in the drywall, and there's a lot of anger going on,
All right,
too.
so you actually go in there and physically fix up these properties in the old-fashioned way. You tear up the carpets, you repaint, et cetera, you put in new utilities. And what kind of percent increase are we talking about when you're able to sell them?
You shoot for 20%. It's pretty standard. Over the past couple of years, it's been extremely challenging, and it's starting to get a lot easier again. So we're starting to see profit margins of anywhere 20 to 30%.
Wow. Barry, have you heard about this happening elsewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, this is what I did as a kid to get through college. I mean, we used to buy houses and fix them up and flip them. But
when you were getting through college, it wasn't as bad a situation as we got now.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you, the market wasn't that great back then. And then there were also times where the market was difficult, and you could still make money by fixing up homes. You know why? Because the properties are distressed. They have no curb appeal whatsoever. People don't want to buy them. You can get them deeply discounted, especially now in a foreclosure environment. Do some cosmetic work, fix the thing up, put it on the market below what other homes are selling for, and make a very handsome profit.
All right, now Peter, the question about out west is an open question, because the folks out west really haven't seen the kind of downturn, at least in San Francisco, where you are right now, as they have in a lot of other areas like Florida and elsewhere. So are you seeing property values there as well?
You know, that's really the subject that I ask, or that's the question I ask everybody. I'm asking about San Francisco. For the most part, we're not seeing it. That being said, we're in the process of expanding into San Diego, Phoenix, and Las Vegas, and Los Angeles to try to take advantage of what's sort of going on down here. These seem to be the real hot button areas. San Francisco, I would tell you, is still holding pretty steady because it seems like the job market is still pretty strong. Some people feel as if it's time to get in because they might be able to get something they couldn't buy previously. But our real focus is probably a little bit farther south than San Francisco.
Cindy Squyres, let me just ask you for some specifics about prices, if you don't mind. You say 20% increase. Give us some ideas of prices and precisely where you're able to flip those houses and for how much.
Sure thing. Well, we just found one in Cathedral City that was just an insane steal. That was one of our best deals of the year. Houses in the area are actively selling right now, which is what's making it so much easier now is buyers are returning to this market because they can actually afford a house now. But comparable properties were selling anywhere from $200 to $230. The bank had it at $150, couldn't sell it for a really long time, got fed up, dropped it to $90. Wow. We offered $75, and they were just sick of it, and they said, take it.
And this is a house that's not even in that bad of condition. It was built in 1986. It's got a tile roof and a 2-car garage, 3 bedrooms. It's not a bad property. What we're finding, though, is just from 3 years ago, most of these properties in these areas, and I'm talking about not the ghetto, I'm talking about regular blue-collar areas, have dropped 50 to 60%.
Unbelievable. But $75,000 for 3 bedrooms and 2 baths quickly, very quickly.
Remember the words of the recently late Sir John Templeton: you want to buy it when nobody else wants it.
That's
probably one of the best times to buy.
Barry Habib, Kurtis and Cindy Squyres, Peter Zalewski, thank you, gang. Coming up on deck, heirs to the family business, but sometimes turns into a bad air day. Power rankings next. Also, you can weigh in. Now is the perfect time to buy. Is that a buy, sell, or hold?